Hello, beautiful people. Well, this is another one of my videos where I'm just sitting in the park, just want to have a conversation about the state of affairs of what's going on in my country, the United States. As an American living abroad from California, I'm living in Prague. This is the Czech Republic, and I'm having these mixed emotions about being abroad, being American abroad, not being abroad specifically because I love being in Europe. It's although Europeans now are seeing America, the United States, as a non-ally now, kind of like an enemy. And so my mixed emotions is that I feel a little guilty, even though I've done nothing. you know, I'm pointing to where I live, which is right straight ahead. I love this. This is a park with the cathedral near it, and I usually come out and sit and after I finish my online work, I'll get some air and just enjoy just the neighborhood. It's so peaceful and quiet, but it's still normal, like a normal day. I think it's a normal weekday, and this particular day was like a Wednesday. And, I just, after sitting in the park, I'm doing a voiceover now because I just sat here and I was thinking that it's so sad that now being abroad doesn't feel really good as an American because, I don't agree with what's going on over there. We have this rogue president and his administration that are a bunch of clowns, incompetent people, and the country has turned into a big bowl of hate. And, that's what got us there, meaning Americans, the hate for people that don't look like white Americans. And that has been kind of stewing for the last, 15 years. It wasn't like that when I was growing up. But I think, because of, this ignorance of not knowing your history and not teaching it in the educational system has contributed to a lot of Americans being not so smart. And usually it's the ones that feel privileged that others are coming to the country and prospering and doing well. And what it's doing is making the majority of the white Americans that are not living their best life trying to find a reason to blame others for it. Okay, it gets, it's, I came back to the park. It was the same day. Usually in the evening too, I like to get out and get some air, and it's very safe in Prague. It's safe in most European countries, to be honest, compared to the United States. It's just oh my God, it's just refreshing to not have to look over my back every moment at night. Everyone's out at late at night taking a break. But back to the topic of the what's happening in the United States and how now this administration has two of the most hateful people leading it, which is Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And hopefully, with the Americans that voted for Trump being finally they see the light because they were betrayed, they were lied to get their vote, and they let hate, you know, be their driving force, and they didn't think about it would come back to bite them. This is me sitting in the park, voicing over what I'm saying, probably just talking about the fresh air and how nice it is outside. But yeah, actually, behind me is a really beautiful theater, and this particular night they were having a performance of, I think it was, oh, I can't remember now, but it was pretty popular play, and it was, something I want to go see. But anyway, yeah, so hopefully this catastrophe and this rogue and incompetent administration And a lot of the MAGA voters, and not just MAGA, but also, Republicans who voted against their own interests because they were so hateful and racist. Now that they're losing their jobs and their main source of income, now there might be a possibility that they wake up and realize that, hey, they're no different than the black and brown people. If you're not a multimillionaire or a billionaire, these voters were used, well, these MAGA voters or Trump voters were used for their vote. And now it's going to be a wild ride along the way now. Hopefully, I think with all these extreme changes that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing to hardworking people, people that work for the government, people who work for the military, federal workers, and, just everyday normal people. So security people, people working for just there to retire, to be able to retire, in peace when it's time. All that's in jeopardy. So I say that to say that sometimes you have to look at other options. There's nothing wrong with thinking about getting away during this administration, seeing what's out in the world if you can. Looking at other countries that are doing so much better. And, Americans are so, steeped in, and this is all Americans, who, especially the who don't travel. They don't know that, the United States is so far behind in a lot of things. Education, also infrastructure for the United States is terrible. There's just no cities that are walkable like these. There is bad food. The biggest problem, no universal health care. There were. And then because, it all goes back to race again, racism. When Obama instituted, universal health care. Okay, so I'm gonna get off of that because right now this is the next day. I'm continuing, this conversation about why I feel so much better being abroad. Right now I'm in, you'll be surprised. I normally don't go to McDonald's, but this is McDonald's. And I was on my way just to take my morning walk and then pick up something at the market. And I stopped in to get some coffee. And I live like about 2 minutes away from here. So I usually have my espresso double shot like that. And then I go back and I do some work from home. And then, after that, it's up in the air. But yeah, take a look at this city. It's really relaxing to be able to have peace, not all the, animosity and the kind of that feeling when you're in the United States and you just feel tense, and you deserve better. You can move to another country and have peace. It's doable.